Thursday, and Thursday at Washington Carnegie Public Library means story time. So find a comfy seat, grab a snack, and let's start. Are you ready? If you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story and you really want to show it, if you're ready for a story, clap your hands. If you're ready for a story, find a seat. If you're ready for a story, find a seat. If you're ready for a story and you really want to show it, if you're ready for a story, find a seat.
Our story today is called The Nest That Wren Built, and it's by Randi Sonenshine, illustrated by Anne Hunter. The illustrations in this book remind me of autumn. That's one of the reasons why I picked it. The Nest That Wren Built. These are the twigs, dried in the sun, that Papa collected one by one to cradle the nest that Wren built. See? The beginnings of the nest. This is the bark, snippets of twine, spidery rootlets, and needles of pine that shape the nest that Wren built. These are the leaves of ruby and gold, fallen from trees sturdy and old, that weave through the nest that Wren built. This is the sack, silky and white, brimming with spiders who feast on the mites that threaten the nest that Wren built. This is the snakeskin, warding off harm, a scaly and thin reptilian charm draped on the nest that Wren built. This is the moss, softer than suede, stolen from stones, cool in the shade, to line the nest that Wren built. These are the feathers, petals, and thread placed on the moss to soften the bed that waits in the nest that Wren built. This is the tuft of rabbity fur plucked from a sharp persnickety burr to warm the nest that Wren built. This is the papa perching nearby, chirping a mirthful song to the sky and guarding the nest that Wren built. These are the eggs laid on the bed of velvety moss, feathers and thread, safe in the nest that Wren built. These are the hatchlings scratching within, stretching and pecking all scrawny and thin, that hatch in the nest that Wren built. This is Papa hunting for food, a spider or beetle to nourish the brood that waits in the nest that Wren built. These are the nestlings drowsy and fed, snuggly and plump on their feathery bed, warm in the nest that Wren built. These are the fledglings, 14 days old. They inch to the edge while feathers unfold, then fly from the nest that Wren built. Who finds the nest? Can you see? But they're all gone. And it's actually true that a snakeskin is often draped over the edge of a wren's nest. It says it's a clever trick to scare predators so that they won't try to attack the eggs. And it also says that Carolina wrens add spider sacs to their nesting materials. One theory is that when the baby spiders hatch, they eat mites, which are tiny parasites that infest the nest and can endanger the nestlings. So the way the parent birds build the nest is very clever. Everything they put in, everything that we read that they put in has a purpose. And then later on, when they're not using the nest anymore, other animals come and use the nest because they're built so well. And that's the end of our story, The Nest That Wren Built. Right, today our poem is from a book called Butterfly Eyes and Other Secrets of the Meadow, and it's written by Joyce Sidman. So these are poems by Joyce Sidman. And the poem we're going to read today is called Always Together. We tumble, we twitter, we dip, float, and flitter. On thistle we rustle, and whistle, and bustle. Dip dodging, leapfrogging, we're birds of a feather, like ripples, like petals, like clouds in wet weather, like bright chips of sunlight, flung skyward forever. We're always together. What are we? So this poem is written a bit like a riddle. So do you know what these birds are who are always together? And here is the answer. Tiny yellow goldfinches are extremely social birds, flocking together not only during migration, but also all year long. Singing and calling cheerfully as they fly, groups of goldfinches feast on seeds of the meadow, thistle, sunflower, and dandelion, as well as bugs and caterpillars. And I thought about this poem this last week because we saw goldfinches eating our sunflowers in our garden. So that's what goldfinches are like. They're always together, just like the poem. And that's the end of our poem for today. Thank you for joining us today for story time. I hope you enjoyed the stories and the poem. I love reading to you, and I hope you can join us next week. Bye-bye.